medial meniscus ramp lesions, and arthroscopic and functional classification. There are no disclosures, no conflict of interest. The posterior medial compartment is entered by Gilchrist maneuver between medial femoral condyle and posterior cruciate ligament. With knee at 90 degrees of flexion, high posterior medial portal is created. Type 1 lesions, they affect the meniscocapsular structures only, and the probe cannot be passed between the tibial condyle and posterior medial capsule. The edges can be approximated and repaired by conventional technique. Type 2 lesions affect the meniscocapsular and meniscotibial ligaments. The probe can be passed between the posterior aspect of the tibia and meniscocapsular junction till 6 to 10 millimeters below the joint line. The meniscus is probed to exclude the injury to the posterior horn. Taking a closer look, the MTL attachment can be seen. In another example of type 2 lesions, at times it is difficult to examine the complete extent of the lesion through the notch view. Viewing from the anterolateral port will demonstrate injury to the meniscocapsular ligament from inferior surface of the meniscus. To understand the complete tear pattern, switch the scope to the posteromedial port. The probe is inserted through another port and the extent of lesion can be seen. We can see the injury to the meniscocapsular ligament and probing the meniscotibial ligament. The meniscotibial ligament is also injured with meniscocapsular ligament, and here there is absence of true meniscus injury which is noted. Type 3 involve injury to medial meniscus tissue along with MCL and MTL. One can see a flipped medial meniscus with a radial tear while viewing from anterolateral port. The scope is then passed into the posterior medial compartment to probe the meniscus tear and measure the extent laterally. It is followed by probing the meniscocapsular junction and the MTL. Type 2 and type 3 injuries need to be treated with refixation of meniscocapsular ligament and meniscotibial ligament to the posterior aspect of the tibia. The repair technique includes rasping of the torn edges with a diamond rasp, followed by insertion of 1.7 mm drill sleeve for insertion of all suture anchor. The suture anchor is deployed in the previously drilled hole. One suture is loaded on antegrade suture passing device and a bite is taken through the full thickness of posterior medial capsular structures including the meniscotibial ligament. Taking care of the soft tissue bridge, a sliding knot is secured to approximate posterior medial capsule to the posterior aspect of the tibia. The suture ends are then cut and the repair is completed posteriorly. The scope is then shifted to anterolateral port and probe is passed to palpate the meniscus tear for the configuration and is reduced in place. Since the posterior capsule is now secure and stable, an all-inside device is used to repair the meniscus tear to the posterior capsule. The scope is then shifted to AM port and another all-inside device is inserted from the anterolateral port with a horizontal stitch configuration to approximate the radial tear. The scope is re-switched and another stitch is taken through the anteromedial port to suture the posterior horn of the meniscus to the capsule in a horizontal fashion. The third stitch is taken to reinforce the radial tear component. The white zone tear is balanced and suction test is performed to check the stability of the meniscus repair. The scope is then switched to the posterior medial port for final check, thus completing the procedure.